Hey, what's going on YouTube? So today I'm going to showcase a 1-bar Oakensoul PvP build for the Magicka Sorcerer, updated for the Scribes of Fate DLC patch. This build is perfect for those who want to manage only 1 bar and still be effective in PvP. Furthermore, I will be using Oakensoul Ring to maximize its full potential as a 1-bar build. So starting off in the character sheet, I have 50 points in a Magicka and 14 points in the health. For the Mundus, we're going to be running the Atronach Mundus. This is for our Magicka recovery. For the food, you have a few different options. Orzoga's Bear Haunch is probably the best, and Jewels of Misrule is just a cheaper alternative. Because we're running Oakensoul, it provides us the major buffs that we would need for DPS. So instead, we're going to opt to run Tri-Stat Potions, just as a way that we can get all of our resources back. For CP, for the blue tree, we're going to be running Master at Arms, Deadly Aim, Ironclad, and Unassailable. For the red tree, we're going to be running Boundless Vitality, Fortified, Rejuvenation, and Pain's Refuge. So for the gear, we're going to be running 5 pieces of Way of the Fire paired with 5 pieces of Rallying Cry, 1 piece Trainee, and 1 piece Oakensoul. So breaking it down in the main hand, we have an Inferno Staff of the Fire. This is sharpened with a weapon damage enchant. For the head, chest, and legs, we have 3 pieces of Way of Fire. This is all going to be in heavy with Divines as a trait and a Tri-Stat Glyph. For the shoulders, we have 1 piece Trainee with the Tri-Stat Glyph and Divines. For the waist, hands, and feet, we have 3 pieces of Rallying Cry, all well fitted. And lastly, for the jewelry, we have 2 pieces of Rallying Cry, both infused with a spell damage enchant, and an Oakensoul ring infused with a mag recovery enchant. So Way of the Fire is just going to give us extra DPS whenever we attack or deal damage with a weapon. This effect can occur once every 2 seconds. And then Rallying Cry is going to give us access to a ton of crit resistance and weapon and spell damage after you critically heal yourself. And lastly, the 1 piece Trainee is just there for the extra raw stats, and Oakensoul because it's a 1-bar. For the skills, we're going to be running Streak. This is our main escape mechanism. It does do a little bit of damage, and the more you cast it within 4 seconds, the more it's going to cost, so use it sparingly. Crushing Shock is going to be our spammable. This does pretty good damage, and on top of that, it also sets them off balance and stuns them if they're casting. Crystal Frags only use this when this is procced for big burst damage. Our pet Twilight Matriarch is here as our big burst heal, and also to get our passives for having a Daedric pet. Resolving Vigor is going to be our source of minor resolve, plus it's a decent heal, and it'll proc our Rallying Cry pretty easily. And lastly, Power Overload, which once you activate it, your light attacks just do a ton of damage, meaning it's a good way to combo in Crushing Shock and your Crystal Frags. So the rotation is just super simple. Just open up with Power Overload if you have ultimate, light attack in Power Overload with Crushing Shock, and then keep doing it until your Crystal Frags procs, and then just use that. So for closing thoughts, I did try a few sets, but I found Way of Fire to be pretty easy and does relatively good damage. One of the big issues that I had playing this build was the fact that it is squishy, and Streak is really necessary to get out of those tight situations where you just can't out heal or tank whatever damage is being thrown at you. Something that I was playing around with that probably has just as much if not more potential is going Stam and then running Crushing Weapon instead of Crushing Shock for that major breach. And that wraps up the build explanation section of this portion. As always, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the comment section down below or come join our Discord. Link is in the description. I will also have a written guide attached in the description for those who would be interested in that. And lastly, I've also started channel membership for those who'd like to go the extra step to help support me so I can bring you more ESO content. Feel free to stick around for the attached battlegrounds, and if not, have a good day and see you in the next one.